against a really stubborn Forest side, but how disappointed are you not to win the game, particularly with Man City dropping points earlier as well?
Yeah, particularly for us, because we came here to win the game, and at the end we haven't managed to do that. And credit to them, the manner that they are organised and the game that they want to provoke constantly. But we knew that when you have 4 big chances that we have with Martinelli, open goal, Declan Rice, Mikel Merino, Bukayo Saka, at the end you have to find the margin to win the game, because again we haven't conceded a single shot on target. But yeah, disappointing not to win it.
So your reflection on the game is more that you missed the opportunities in front of goal that could have won the game for you?
Well, I think it's clear, because we haven't conceded anything.
When you look at the substitutions you made, you obviously brought Leandro Trossard on at half-time and another 3 substitutions within 10 minutes of the second half. What were you looking to change at that point? How were they frustrating you?
No, it wasn't a manner of frustration. It's trying to find other ways to open them up as well, to find the solutions. Leo brought something else, then we brought Gavi, Bukayo with the header, the clear penalty, obviously, that we had not to forget. That is a clear penalty in the box that is not been given. So that's the margins.
Yeah, I saw you gesturing to the 4th official that you thought that was a handball. That's one you're referring to.
I saw it live, I saw it here, and I saw it now again. And yeah, it is very unnecessary, but he brings the ball in with the hand, so it's a clear penalty.
Has the referee spoken to you? Did the 4th official give any reason? Obviously, people are going to look at this as a missed opportunity for Arsenal to go 9 points clear, but can you actually look back at this potentially as a really good point taken at a tough place to come?
Well, we have to do it. Do that, try to learn and improve. And the league shows how difficult it is. Nobody's winning because it's so tough. And especially when we have the situation that we had today, we have to put them away. And there are other areas as well that you have to give credit to the opponent.
Up next, it's Inter Milan. You're top of the Champions League table. So how do you approach that game with a big game against Manchester United in the league to come next weekend as well?
Yeah, we'll recover from this one. And after tomorrow, we will start preparing that.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Yeah, Inter away next for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta there saying it was a clear penalty that his side should have had after that Ola Aina handball there. He said he brings the ball in with his hand, Stephen. The Premier League Match Centre said it came off his shoulder first and the arm was in a natural position.
I think it'll split opinion, this one. I think his body action is natural coming towards the ball because he has got to turn into the pitch. I think you would feel a little bit hard done by our Arsenal lad that hasn't at least had a look at in terms of going to the screen. But I don't think it's a real clear and obvious mistake from the referee in the first place, because we've seen it in slow motion and it looks worse than in real time. So I think it would have been a little bit soft and unfair on Forest, in my opinion. But I can understand why the manager's frustrated, Mikel Arteta.
Do you see it coming off his shoulder first, Martin, and that arm being in a natural position?
To be honest, they're 2 separate things. There's enough of a gap between. It hits his shoulder and then he seems to cup the ball. He seems to move his arm around. Now, maybe from this angle, they thought, oh, maybe it wasn't. But certainly the one before, it looks to me like
I think Anderson's as well, the pressure of Anderson as well moves his body even more to it as well. I think it would have been really harsh on Forest.
I would have liked the referee to go on and have a look, though, to see if he...
Well, she would, you're an Arsenal fan. We know that, man.
Yeah, we know
also,
that.
Martin, we do keep asking for this high bar, don't we, to say that we want the referees.
We're asking for the right
stand.
decisions.
We don't want too many interventions in games, and that bar has to be high before the referee goes to a monitor. Would that be high enough?
Subjectivity. It all comes down to someone.
Going to the screen an awful lot more than we already are, though. If for situations like that, like ricochets or motions where your body's going to, I think we'd be given a lot more penalties.
Yeah,
if
well,
it was
I think
Liverpool, you'd be screaming for him to go to the monitor.
Yeah.
Well, are you a Liverpool fan?
Of course I am.
Well, you'd have wanted that when you was a penalty.
No, listen, I think there's a shout there. I don't think it's as clear as Martin and Mikel Arteta are saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's blatant and clear, especially in real time for the referee's point of view. And I think you've got to be careful you're not clutching at straws a little bit, because that's not the reason why they haven't got maximum points today. The reason is because they were very wasteful in the first half and the keepers made a world-class save. I thought Arsenal performance was good today. They controlled large parts of the game. They created enough chances to win the game.
Mikel, obviously a frustrating afternoon for you. What are your feelings immediately after?
Yeah, we obviously wanted to win the game. We knew the game was going to be very tough, very close as well, for the way that they play. We created 4 big chances and a clear penalty, but we weren't able to win the game.
I want to talk about the penalty because I felt as I was watching it that the only decision was whether the ball was in play or not.
Yeah.
I didn't feel handball was even in doubt. It clearly looked like it.
Well, I just seen the reps. I think it's a clear intention to kill the ball inside, so it's a clear penalty. So I don't understand why it's not been given.
2 league games running now where you haven't managed to just find that little bit of magic or the final ball or the finish. That's frustrating because you're in a great position, but it could have been better.
It is. We could have been better, but as well is what's happening all around the league to every single team. So we have to improve and do better, and especially when you create 4 big chances, the one we have created, you have to put them away.
And you went through, all the options you have. You have more options probably in your Arsenal squad this season than you've ever had. Do you feel that all those guys are they in a position to just give that little bit of spark, or is there a bit of a dip at this time because there's so many games?
No, for sure they are, and so willing to do it. You have to produce that moment. We have produced certain moments. Credit to them as well, because they are very well organized and they disrupt your momentum in a really clever way as well all the time. And you need to cope with that. We knew that, and we tried to at the end find a goal, because I don't think we conceded a single shot again. But that's the margins, and we didn't find the way to win it.
My last question is, had Saka's header gone in? What a fantastic header that was. It's a great save as well, by the way. But Bukayo Saka with a kind of number 9 centre-forward header is a great header.
Yes, it is. Or the big chance that Gabi has with an empty goal, or Declan as well, or Mikel Merino has as well. So, yeah, that's the moment that you have to put the ball in the back of the net and win the game. And unfortunately, we haven't managed to do that.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
Yeah, what really stands out for me there is the fact that he says it was a clear penalty.
I wouldn't say clear. I'm not too sure about that. But obviously he's frustrated, and he's looked back. He's got a monitor in front of him. He thinks it's been handball. It's come off his shoulder, rolled down. But he's got to take into consideration all the people bumping and guys and all that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't have said it was clear. But I'm looking at old school when I played, probably, and that would have never been a penalty. But maybe the rules have changed now, and it was. I don't know, but I would have been really disappointed if I'm Sean Dyche, and that's given as a penalty.
Well, Ola Aina was the man at the centre of that controversy, and we can actually hear from him now.
There was a penalty shout for them in the second half. You were at the centre of it. What was your view of things?
To be fair, if they gave that a penalty, I'll be a bit shocked. I got, I felt a little nudge, so it touched me, but hands are by my side, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think it was the right call.
Well, he thinks it was the right. I'm not surprised that Arteta said clear penalty and he said it was the right call.
Well, the thing is, somebody you say there's one side and there's the other side, and then you meet somewhere in the middle.
The truth.
Oh, the ref's the middle. I don't know, but I mean, I can understand where Mikel's coming from one aspect of the fact that it looks like Ola Aina's arm moves a fraction kind of here. It like comes a little bit towards the ball. It's like his elbow tucks in. So that's the only part that you could maybe say. But I just think, again, he's being bumped from 2 different people. I just think it would have been incredible. A title race and a relegation battle. I think you gotta win both. In that sense, you got to stay up. And I think Arsenal, if they're going to win this league, which they should do, they need to do more in the game and maybe not worry about that little moment, because they can. I think they can do more in the game as well.
Yeah, disappointment from Arsenal, no doubt, as we just heard from Mikel Arteta. But on the other side, as Owen mentioned now, the relegation race, that's what Forest are looking just over their shoulder, given what happened earlier on in the day. Their manager, Sean Dyche, has reactions to this hard-fought point.
Sean, terrific point. You'll be delighted with the application and the focus and everything about the performance there.
Yeah, absolutely. You summed it up, really. Look, it's not easy playing against these sides. You've got to, the commitment is different. The commitment to score a goal, of course, is always there. You want to win games, but what about the commitment to the shape, the basics and the hard yards of the game? And I thought we did that fantastically well as a group. They still had a couple of chances, but, they're a top side and they're flying. But to get a clean sheet against them is very pleasing. We've had a couple of moments ourselves, but it's hard to open them up, as they've shown all season.
And your goalkeeper has made an outstanding save there from Saka's header. That's terrific stuff.
Yeah, I'm pleased for him because it's a lot of noise about their set piece as well. I thought he did well on that, and the group did. But that's a great save because it comes over. I think it's Murillo's head. He sees it late, but has a good spring and gets fingertips to it. So that was a big moment, of course. But we had a big moment ourselves. Touch and go penalty. He's in mid-flow. He gets pulled. He's falling into the box. I think that's a tight one. I know you're going to mention theirs. I think football, we've got to be careful with that if people think that's a penalty. I don't know, it wasn't given. I'm pleased it wasn't. Because this handball thing is a bit of a weird one at the minute, as we all know, and that would be incredibly harsh for me if that gets given.
Well, for sake of clarity, I thought it was. I thought he controlled the ball with his arm. My doubt was, is it in play or not? But
you can see he's got a nudge in the back from our own player, but you can't get a nudge in the back and control everything. I just think we've got to be really careful. Everyone knows that. I know it's a massive debate about handball at the minute, but if they start getting given, we've got to go, hang on a minute.
Sean Dyche there praising his players as well for their commitments and keeping the shape today. What could have been a 9-point gap at the top of the table is not right now. And I want to look at the next couple of fixtures coming from Arsenal because it's very, very interesting, the games that they have coming up. And we could see a very different looking top of the table.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've been brilliant in the Premier League and the Champions League, but you think about Inter in the Champions League, a very good side, top of Serie A. Then you got United, who under Michael Carrick have been terrific. You think about Leeds away, Chelsea, Sunderland. They're not. I mean, they're not guarantees, so that's why the United game is massive. Today, I think a draw's fine, don't you think, Ray?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take the point. If you win at home against Man United, then you're back in a great position. Still 7 points at the moment. I know Villa play tomorrow. They're in a good spot, Arsenal. They just got to continue on the run.
Yeah, there are
of course you want to win every game, don't you? Yeah. I mean, and that's why he's disappointed. Mikel Arteta has been used to winning games of football. But you look at it as well, he's got another point on the board, away from home. So Man United game is going to be huge, though, because how well they play today. Can they do that again at the Emirates? It'd be interesting to see.
Mats, we can see from the celebrations just what this point means to Nottingham Forest. How big does it feel up against the league leaders, and particularly with West Ham winning earlier as well?
Yeah, of course, difficult game, Arsenal, top of the league, so I think we gave 100% for a good result. Everybody did everything, and really happy, of course. It's only 1 point, but it gives a lot of confidence for the next games.
How aware were you of West Ham winning earlier?
I knew it before the game. I don't know the other players, but look, this is a football. We only need to see to ourselves, and look, last week we won there, so it's good, but we need to keep going. And like I said today, we won a lot of confidence, but next week there is another difficult game. So look, we keep going, and hopefully next week we can win this game in Brentford.
For you personally, you're only the second goalkeeper this season to keep a clean sheet up against Arsenal, along with Alisson. That must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, of course, keeping a clean sheet is always nice, but I think if you saw the whole team and my defense, how they defend today was amazing. So if you not concede, it's always easier to win. So I'm really happy, and we need to keep going like this.
It must be positive for you to be back starting in this team as well. How strange has it been to find yourself on the bench this season after being such a main part of this team last year?
Look, this is football. I was injured, and they won that game. So the Gaffas told me he wanted to keep going with the same team. So I always was working during the week and show that I was ready for when my chance was coming back. And voila, look, I think we did well last week and today. So it's always a team effort, and look, like I said today, really happy for me and for the team and for whole Nottingham.
The point means you're 5 points above West Ham in the table now. How much confidence have you got as a group that you can stay in the Premier League?
Yeah, of course, we need to have confidence. I think, like I said, we need to look to ourselves, not to the other teams around us or under us, and try to take the points for sure at home, because like today, the support was amazing. So next home game we need to keep going and voila, give the supporters what they deserve, because they were last year amazing and this season so far as well.
Well done. You're today's player of the match. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Player of the match contribution from Matt Sels today, talking about how he's very happy to be back in the team. Well, they were happy he was there, especially for that critical moment. He made some big saves today, but most importantly, that one from Saka.
Yeah, I mean, he had a fabulous season last season. This season's only been a bit tricky. They've had a few managers. Back line hasn't been as stable, but he makes a fantastic save. I love this ball down the side for Declan. Stands it up. It's a great header from Saka, but Sels has he's probably got enough time, hasn't he, Ray, to kind of get across and save it. It's a great header and a great save.
It's a perfect header from Saka, because when the ball's coming, you head it back the way it come, and it's aiming for that corner, and it's a real fingertip save, and a really big save, because if that goes in, suddenly it could be a real 2 or 3-0 game, but that give everybody a little bit of a lift, the players, and brilliant save, and that's what you need. You need your goalkeepers to come up with saves like that if you're going to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, so a huge save there from Sels, huge contribution, player of the match award for him as well. Ray, I want to just remind you that the last time Arsenal were 9 points clear, because they could have been 9 points clear today, you were in the team.
Is that right?
It was the Invincibles season.
It was a long time ago, but
it was the
Invincibles, 2004.
It could have been the case today. What does it tell you that they weren't able to go 9 points clear?
Well, it's not the end of the world. I mean, you don't lose the game, and at times Forest did push and had a couple of opportunities, but it's a difficult place to play, City ground, and they really was up for it tonight. But Mikel will be disappointed, because that was a big statement to make, to go 9 points clear. But 7 points is still a good position to be in. I know Villa have got to play tomorrow, and they could close it to 4 points. But I think the lads will be disappointed, but now all sights will be on their next game. That's all you can do. You can't change what's happened. You can say we should have created more chances at times and got in behind the Forest defence a little bit better. But as you're walking off that pitch, you're disappointed. But tomorrow, you forget about that and we'll look for the next game. That's all you can do.
Back-to-back goalless draws for them in the Premier League. The last time that happened, Mikel Arteta was still a player.
Good stat, Jules.
Well, you're doing very good, Jules, today.
Oh, we have a great stats department, I have to say.
Do you know what? I wouldn't say it's the pressure and the magnitude of it, but it's different now. They're not chasing. They're the leaders. They've been the best team in the Premier League, best team in the Champions League. I wouldn't even say they've had a little wobble. I just think they haven't been at their best. And you'd have to say, I thought Nottingham Forest today were terrific. Defended really well, put them under a lot of pressure. But I think if they've got the squad that they have, with the options to change it in a game, I just feel that that's a game they should be winning. I don't think they tested the goalkeeper enough. Sels, okay, he made a good save, but he only made 3, Jules. He should be peppered. They should have had loads of shots, and I just don't think they put enough pressure on Nottingham Forest defensively. When they made those runs in behind and put those passes behind, I thought they looked more dangerous, but everything was in front of Nottingham Forest, so I think it's something Mikel will look at and think, right, how can we create more? Set piece offs, we know they're great, but they need to create more from open play.
Well, what does that come down to, do you think? Not just the way that they're playing. Is mentality a part of that as well?
No.
Pressure?
No, it's not mentality. I mean, pressure's probably a thing. Ray makes a good point. You don't really want to lose the game either, so you have to tread carefully. But I don't know. I just think they've been a bit cautious, haven't they, in the past couple of games? And maybe that is kind of the magnitude of it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you look at it, and they'll be looking at the league table, knowing exactly what's happening, what they've got to do to try and win this league. And the players have just got to keep responding. They've got to keep, as I said before, Mikel will be sitting down in his dressing room after saying, look, we could have created more. It was an opportunity, but we look forward. And they're still in a great position. They've still got everything to play for. They've still got lots and lots of depth in the squad if you do get a couple of injuries. So I still think it's pretty good at the moment. And they're still massive favourites to win the league.
Well, they couldn't find a way through. Did you think that perhaps they should have had a penalty? I know there was a big moment close to the end and VAR had a look at it. This was handball, potentially, or that was what they were checking.
I don't think so. I think that, as I said before, as you see this here, he gets a little nudge from his own player to push him away, and I think that'd been really, really unfair and unkind to Nottingham Forest if that was given. And I think they made the right decision in the end by not giving it.
Yeah, I'm with Ray. I think it would have been harsh. I think Elliot Anderson kind of bumps him. I don't think it's in a position where first he gets bumped by Gabriel Jesus, so he's kind of leaning forward. He's a bit off balance, comes off his shoulder there, gets a little kick.
Gets a kick as well.
And then Elliot Anderson comes over, and so I don't think that's handball. I think that would have been harsh.
I think if Mikel Arteta, if that was an Arsenal player, he would be really disappointed if that was given.
Well, the official word from Match Centre is that moment you just mentioned now is because it comes off his shoulder first and then onto the hand, I think, is the reason why it wasn't given as a penalty. It would have been pretty harsh.
Yeah, and he's getting bumped by multiple players. It's coming off his shoulder. He's kind of leaning forward. I mean, let's be honest. We want pens for the right reasons, not just for, for that, and I don't think it would have been.
If that was given, I think Sean Dyche's interview would have been interesting to hear because he would have been really disappointed, and I'm sure Mikel Arteta would have been in the same position. So definitely the right decision.
Well, you
Obviously, the result was a disappointment. What did you make of your team's performance?
Better team won. United was in 10 years is the time we claim here that they were better. So nothing more to say. When a team is better, you have to accept it. You have the energy that we didn't have, and yeah, congratulate them.
So how were they able to, maybe not in terms of possession, but chances, how were they able to have the better of the match?
No, they had the chances at the end and the crosses, and of course the goals they conceded was poorly. You know that always United have been a transitional team, and we didn't control. But in general, we can talk about this action or the other action, or the in the beginning of the game or whatever. So I think we had the duty to analyse the game in general, and they were better.
They obviously wanted an intense physical game. They want to bring their crowd into it. Were you just not able at any point, maybe because you didn't keep the ball well enough, you just weren't able to take that heat out of the match?
But they started really strong. We lost 1 or 2 balls. The crowd is normal, so we played a derby. So in many years, they were behind and they play at home, a long week, new manager. So these kind of things are involved in a game. It's normal that will happen. But especially when we arrive many times in the final third to try to score, we never make a threat. We never make a crosses. We never make a movement to try to win that. So that is because also it's part of the energy. And it's not the energy also we talk is about win or do it. So it's what do we do with the ball as well, not just without. And today they have a point higher than us.
Yeah, you spoke about it a bit before the match with regard to Erling Haaland. Do you feel like that exhaustion? I know you're really not keen to make an excuse for the schedule, but
it's not about one.
Go on, sorry.
It's not about one. It's in general, so it's not about just one player.
No, but do you feel like the schedule caught up with the group today?
No, today was a game we didn't have in Newcastle. We didn't have against Sunderland. It was exception second half. We didn't have in Brighton or Chelsea. So we were top in that game. So, and Newcastle away, and you know how difficult it is. And today we didn't have it.
What was the thinking with the changes at half-time? Foden came off. Max Aleni probably had his most difficult half since coming into the team. He came off as well.
It was not in the first actions, but that's a play good. Not to play good, but I know, as a new player coming to the stadium, it's like a process. So incredible senior important players like it was on Ruben, but like I don't know, Akanji's or all Kyle Walker. So all the generation that we have, we've been in in 1 or 2 years for age, we've been replaced, and you need to experience that, that games to step by step to do it, but. Yeah, you have to continue. It's long. So in 2 days we have Champions League in Norway and go there.
And those changes, I think, with 10 minutes to go, it's the first time in the Premier League that you've taken Erling Haaland off when you've needed a goal. At that point, with the 3 you took off, are you just thinking about saving legs?
Yeah, part of that, yeah. Yeah, part of that. I sit in that and Divine and Wonan, and we have new energy. So at the end is a question how many moments you have, how many, and all of them. Not believe me, it's not. I'm not a guy like we proved many times. He is for that reason. It was one reason. It's always energy is one each other. When someone cannot, the other ones can do it. And today we didn't have it.
And of course, the match could have gone down a very different path had Diogo Dalot been sent off.
Could say that, right? Could say that.
Could say that.
Could say that. It's red card, different game. But as a manager, I have to see how was the game. Well, many situations happen, Like we talk about that. It was easy for me to come here and say, should be sent off, should be a red card. And change the game? No. I choose the game, yes. You play 10 against 11 during 85 minutes, should be a little bit differently. But Anthony Taylor had to decide of that, or VAR, but it's not about that. We will not grow up if that is the argument to win or lose the game. You had to do better, and today we didn't do that.
And sorry, last question. If Arsenal punish you later, if they make that gap 9 points...
It's about how we grow up as a team. And I had the feeling that we had done very, very good things so far. I had that feeling. So we are a team but we have a lot of problems in some departments, and then other ones, as well. And you maybe to be better, you have to make a setbacks. It's about at the end we don't win like what happened last season, and we won Liverpool congratulating. You have to do it, but this is a long way. You have to continue to analyze why we didn't have that and try to do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks,
To be a significant stage in this title race this season, City dropping points in all of the last 4 games, 3 draws in the league before today's defeat, which leaves them 6 points behind Arsenal, who play later at Nottingham Forest. That's a 5:30 kick-off. Aston Villa up against Everton on Super Sunday tomorrow. So where are we then, Micah, in terms of this title race for Manchester City? Where does this leave us?
I think if Arsenal win tonight, then that could be it. I've always sort of stumbled on the Man City, Arsenal, but I just think for confidence as well, if Arsenal go there, Forest, and win, then their confidence will be too high. I don't know if Man City can claw it back like previous seasons when they go on these amazing runs. And I say that because defensively, if they're getting Gay, maybe they can take it to Arsenal. Brought in Semenyo, who's done ever so well in the last couple of games. A bit quiet today.
Like you said, defensive, but they're not scoring.
Yeah. But if you keep clean sheets, you'll always back City to get 1 or 2 in the games normally. Today, that wasn't the case. I think the wider issue for me is how easy it is to play against Man City. And that's not just blaming the defenders. Rico Lewis didn't have the best game today, but how easy you can get through the lines. And if Rodri is in a position, there's so much open space.
Rodri at the end, oh my goodness, I was watching him. Obviously, the one that was disallowed, when he gives it away and he's running back, he looks shattered.
But
absolutely shattered.
You hear that tone from Pep Guardiola, Daniel, and it's sort of talked about that performance around the sort of development of the team, the way the team is progressing. But they've just signed, as Micah says, Antoine Semenyo for 65 million now. Mark Gahey for another 20. They could have got him for free in January. They've done it now. That seems to be a team that wants to win right now, that is not prepared to just let Arsenal take the league title.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying their best to figure out a way. I think this season is probably the one season, maybe in the midfield areas as well, that they're lacking a true partner for, say, a Rodri or a Nico Gonzalez. I think Reinders is quite attacking, Cherki's attacking, Foden's attacking. So in turn, you've got a multitude of attacking-minded midfielders in there with only one who's thinking about the defensive side of the game, alongside the wingers who are also attacking, but their job's to defend. I think that's why City are quite much easier to play against. They've had the Kovacic's of this world, the Gundowans of this world, and the list goes on. I think now the future of the team will be the involvement is, can they become, again, to Michael's point, more difficult to break down and get chances against? They usually control games. Today wasn't that day for them. But you'd like to think with the signings they've brought in that they're gonna challenge. Yeah. It's just, can Arsenal take it by the scruff of the neck and go ahead and do it?
The big shock today, I know Pep's mentioned it, but they looked the physicality wasn't there. I know they've had a bit of busy schedule in a midweek game.
Well, is that the consequence of fighting on 4 fronts?
Well, it can be, but even, sometimes even City on a bad day, looking back the last few years, you think they'll still turn up and have that physicality and obviously energy, and then they show their quality. They didn't even have that today. That real intensity wasn't there from the first minute.
But does the game change if, as Pep suggested, Dalot is shown a red card just 11 minutes into this?
Yeah, well, we go back to having a bit of luck, decisions going for you or against you.
I could still win. Do
you know what? It doesn't get any better. And of course, you look at any tackle in slow motion. I've been on this road. It never looks good. Put it this way, I think if you got a red for that, we wouldn't be sitting here going, it's a bad decision. I think we all agree, and we've all played at a decent level. That's a red.
Is there an argument, though, Micah, if there is force and intensity behind that challenge, which VAR said there wasn't, that Doku doesn't actually get up there?
Well, I don't... It's how high it is on your knee. Of course, if it goes a little bit harder, then his knee's going to basically explode. Where it is, it's a clear red card. Like you said, we've all played the game. You can talk about intensity all you want, but when you go that high in a challenge...
And Dalot's, but I've been critical of Dalot the last few months about not getting out to people and not having that intensity. Today, he obviously went overboard. He's obviously realising that he needs to get tighter to people. Gary mentioned a few times in commentary how he's getting out to people. He's obviously gone out there quickly. He wants to be aggressive, but he certainly mistimed it. And
Very, very a lucky boy.
I don't think you can use that as an excuse, though. Man United, as Pep said, Man United was just better on the day.
But that was
the game might have changed if that happened, but you don't want to be using that as an excuse. It just didn't do enough.
Yeah, they weren't good enough today, City, but for me, it's a red card.
Yeah.
If I'm on the receiving end of that challenge, like, I'd be fuming, and you would have anticipated that the referee, when you slow it down and you see it in slow motion, you're thinking,
I don't think you need to slow it down. In real time.
It's just nasty, though. It's a nasty
real
tackle,
time,
that's all. It's just nasty tackle.
Would it have made a difference to the scoreline? Well, we will never know, will we? Micah, thank you very much. Daniel, thank you. Roy.
A huge point for them, Stephen, today, especially given the West Ham result earlier and the players finding that out just before they started.
Yeah, that would have given them a huge lift for sure, especially with West Ham leading the game and looking as if they could have took something out of the game. So before the game, that would have given them a good lift going into this game, because it was a difficult game for them today, playing the champions here, with them having the opportunity to stretch the lead at the top. So a lot of focus will be on Arsenal not taking that opportunity, but we can't disrespect the performance that these Forest players have put in today. To a man all over the pitch defensively, they were well drilled, well organised. Sean Dyche deserves a lot of credit for that. They've had some stick over the set piece form this season. They had a lot through at them today. They were getting bodies in front of it. The keepers pulled off a world-class save. So they deserve a lot of credit today, and this is a huge point. This point will feel like a win in that Forest dressing room.
Why do you feel that Arsenal failed to capitalise on the opportunity that they had today, Martin?
Gilt-edged opportunities, not taking them in the moment. That's really what it came down to today. Of course, you're making those chances. The goalkeeper seemed inspired. Certainly the save from Saka was top level. He's reminding me of Peter Shilton back in the day at this ground. Sean Dyche coming out. It'd be interesting. Sean, well done.
Good to see you. Congratulations. A big point for your side, especially after the pressure West Ham put on you at the start of the game.
No, there's no pressure of that. We can't affect their results, you know. We can't play for them as well. So don't worry about that.
Did you keep that away from
the
players, Sean?
No, not at all. No, not at all. It's the
Quite
reality of the
open.
game, isn't it? Yeah. It's our challenge here and nothing to do with anyone else.
What was key in you getting that point against the league leaders?
Well, you have to do all the basics right. You know, your shape has to be good, the energy has to be good, the commitment to the cause, and it's not easy. You know, they're obviously they're having a great season. They're a threat, and they can open you up in different ways. So it's about the shape, really. And like I say, the basic principles of staying in your shape, working, press and recover, as I call it. And I thought overall we did it well.
They really started to rack up the chances in the second half. Just how well did your players stand up to that?
I thought they did well. I mean, you expect it. It's unlikely they're not going to make any chances. You know, at home even, you might have to play on the break. You might have to play more of like an away style at home. It's sometimes the case in the Premier League, you know, and the players have delivered a very good performance against the top side in the sense of, you know, not enough threat to win it, but you were looking for a breakaway, you're looking for a moment, maybe a set piece in games like this, and we kept a clean sheet, which against these is not an easy task at the minute.
Was your heart in your mouth with the penalty call? He was shouting penalty, by the way.
I wouldn't be. Do you mean I would? Tell you what, I've had a look at
I
that.
thought it would have been soft, by the way. I thought,
What,
I thought you deserved that little bit of luck, if it was a bit of luck, because I thought to a man, the performance, tactically, I thought your team was spot
I think if these start getting given, we got to leave it. You know, it's ridiculous.
But in this day and age, your heart must have been in your mouth.
I know, but no. I just, well, you never know, but I think that's ridiculous.
I agree.
You know what I mean? We've got to be careful with this, haven't we? You know. And then when I thought you were going to say Owen. I thought you were going to say Owen. It's right on the line of the box.
Yeah.
It says outside of he's already in full flight. He gets pulled. He's going into the box. He's going to get there.
You've seen them given,
That's
though.
a tight one,
You
isn't
have
it?
seen them given.
What given?
What the handball there.
Yeah, you might as well
Talking
cancel
about-
football. You might as well cancel football if you can do that.
Come on.
No, I'm being serious. In your day, would you have accepted that?
Well, no, but let's not.
No, I don't think
We're
so.
now playing in
Right.
this era, and we have to, you know.
No, the rules have to be careful.
I don't think it was a natural movement towards the ball, but I'd be happy if, in your situation.
I tell you what
to
they
get
should
away
do
with
is
that.
start looking at people feigning injury. That's the next one.
Well-
That's the new diving. I wouldn't worry about the handballs.
Just going back to the tactics, you brought Sangera into the team today. You must have been really impressed with his performance, and he's been a big miss for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very good player, and he's fitted in with what we want to do. Elliot, I thought was terrific today. Elliot Anderson, I thought he's like Rolls Royce. Callum Hudson-Odoi, I thought was terrific.
He
the
gave
unsung
team a lot
work
of
from
energy,
Dominguez.
didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, travelling with the ball,
Yeah,
getting you up
yeah,
the
he can
pitch.
deal with
I
the
thought
ball,
Callum
yeah.
Hudson-Odoi, he would have been my man of the match, actually.
Yeah.
Is he back to his best?
Dominguez, without possession,
Yeah.
Dominguez, the work he does,
Fighter, yeah.
fantastic team player. We need that. We need that blend of players. You know, it's not just about one player.
Is this the base for you now? Obviously, you've got a lot of European games as well in the mix, but the games you got coming up, Brentford, Leeds. Is that the basis defensively to try and build and get some
we haven't
points?
come that far away. I mean, you probably saw the decisions against Man City. I don't like talking about referees, but but if you come away with a point there, it's another good point, and you're worthy of it. And I think today we were.
Definitely.
They have a couple of chances, but your goalkeeper makes a great save, one of them, and that's what he's there for. That's what he's there for. That's his job. So, there's a lot of responsibility on these players and myself at the moment. Because everyone thinks this, you know what it's like. You come into a club and it's like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Well, we've turned around what was a really tough situation, but there's lots more to do. And basically the signs there, you've got a fully committed group of players, that's for sure, and that's a good start.
I know you're saying it's his job, but just how good was that save from Saka?
Yeah, terrific. I thought the best part of the save is the defender runs across him. And that could take his eye off it, but he stays to the course. Yeah, he stays to the course. Really good. Yeah, look, it comes across him there. No, really good. Fingertip save, fantastic. So, and we dealt with the set pieces well as well. So, we're happy with that.
He did particularly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did well.
Stood up.
Well. Yeah, I thought the whole group did, because we know what's happening with the set pieces.
I thought out of possession, especially from a defensive point of view, you were so well drilled, spot on. I thought everyone saw a man was brilliant for
you. Yeah, like I said, the script. It's hard, against the top sides.
They challenge you from all over the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. They keep the ball well, and as you saw, they're flashing things across the box. They don't just rely on the perfect goal, which maybe a few years ago people would suggest that about Arsenal. Now they are winning games from set piece. They are winning games from crosses. The hard goals, the ugly goals, and that's a credit to them.
And you see the subs coming on after 55.
I know, it's fair to say they've got a pretty impressive group there.
Sean, to take it forward, so do you need a striker in this transfer window?
I think it's helpful. Everyone's probably looking around the market for a striker. I think Igor's working very hard. It's, tough coming into the Premier League, hit the ground running. Dan's gone on to try and stretch the pitch today. We know he can do a bit up there. We're in the market, we're looking. The owner will back the club, everyone knows that, but still got to try and find the right one.
Yeah. Just the second team this season to stop Arsenal from scoring after Liverpool. How proud does that make you?
Well, I'm not really bothered about all that. It's just getting another point on the board, because we can pontificate all these things. We don't put them out there to not do it right. It's just nice when they do it right. Yeah. We know we've still got to be a threat. We know that, something we're still got to work on. But we're just taking 4 points out of 2 games all of a sudden after a really tough run. It just changes the feel a little bit, and it's important for the players that and important here at the City Ground. Fans were absolutely fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. And they have been, really. They've been fantastic again today.
And as you said, another point. So how does it feel to end the day with a 5-point safety, Bova?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really, we like I said, you can talk about all these things all the time. We just focus on what we're doing, and the performances. Because if you get the performances right over a season, I've said it for all these years I've been in the Premier League, over a season this is, one-offs, fine. And a lucky one will take it. You can't rely on just a lucky one all the time. So the performance or consistency, we know there's still more work to be done, but I'll commend the players today because the attention to the detail of the shape and the basics that Stevie was talking about, that's an important part of the game. It can't all be the beautiful side. You've got to do all the basics well, and I thought we did that very well today.
And Sean, I've done a few of these post-match interviews with you this season after the Europa League, and it seems as the weather gets colder later in the evening, you wear less. Can I ask you about the shorts?
When you go in there, it's like a furnace. The players are not like in my day. It's about 300 degrees in the dressing room.
He's got 4 tracksuit tops on though, haven't you, Sean?
I don't even know what that's all about. No, I feel all right. I'm used to being outdoors.
Just tell them to turn the heating down.
The modern players, trust me, it's not that easy. Not that
Sean,
easy.
well done on a big point tonight. Thanks for coming out. Cheers.
Well done, mate. Cheers.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Coming out with that point, does that just give the Forest fans more belief in him, do you think?
I think he's staying humble. He knows that there's a lot of work to be done. I think in the coming weeks he'll try and strengthen this group of players if he gets the opportunity and the right opportunity. But underneath that interview, you can see he's delighted with his team, especially on the back of Wrexham. We covered that game. We covered that game. You've seen his interview. He was very frustrated with the players out of possession, very frustrated with his squad players not taking an opportunity and really fighting for the cause, and the disappointment of going out of the FA Cup. He will be delighted with that point, because I think anyone that comes up against this Arsenal side, especially lower down the table, if you can take something out of the game, it's a big bonus.
He just said there about 4 points from the last 2 Premier League games, and obviously that upset in between the FA Cup. But I was at that game, Forest. They were so much better than West Ham, and I think that would have given them a great deal of confidence that, look, they've had a close look at who's around them. It's between Forest, West Ham. Leeds look like they're now starting to move away. The other teams below them look like they're gone, really. They're going to get relegated. And I think that would have given them a boost. But to play that well against what looks like the team everyone's talking about as being the next champions, then that will also, give them a shot of confidence.
What did they do so right defensively today?
Well, I think that what they were prepared to do was let Arsenal have the ball,